You are Locked On Heat Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Miami on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What is up, Heat fan? Welcome to your Heat Postcast. My name is Jim Grieshaber. Call me Grease on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day and every night. And how about your Miami Heat snapping a 4-game losing streak from which they didn't look like they might recover for a while there, but they hadn't won a game since February 5th in Philadelphia. Na, 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 na. And they were looking like Tom Hanks at the end of that movie for a while there, but not tonight as they go to Toronto and pick up a beautiful team victory, 120-111 in overtime. They led throughout most of the game, let it slip away a little bit in the second half, but they came on strong in OT. A record-setting night for Bam Adebayo, the best night in a Heat uniform for Andrew Wiggins as the new-look Heat start to gel and come together, man. I am really pumped to see the evolution of this team. And I told you right at the All-Star break, I said, hey, yo, give this team a few days to practice together, and they are going to gel. Hey, yo, give this team some time to get together and, again, get that cohesiveness, get some practices under their belt, run some plays together. Lord forbid, hang out a little bit, develop some team chemistry, and that's exactly what Miami has been doing lately. And, I really appreciate what I saw tonight as a fan, as someone who covers this team and watches this team on the reg. I appreciate what I saw tonight. I love the cohesiveness. I love the team basketball. I love the way Andrew Wiggins is fitting in. I think the Heat got the better of that deal. You Jimmy Butler apologists are not going to want to hear this, but I really do believe the Miami Heat got the better of this deal with the Jimmy Butler trade. And the reason I say that is because Jimmy Butler did not play a full season the last couple of seasons. You're flirting with disaster. You're in the play in both years, right? In the play in both years. And then, this year, look at him. Hit a couple of big games, teasing you a bit. But look, Jimmy said basically before the season started that, there's a line in the sand. And let me get back to what Pat Riley said before the end or at the end of last season. Hey, if you weren't on the floor, you shouldn't be talking. And that was after Jimmy said, hey, if I've been playing with the playoffs, you guys know the whole story. Anyway, from the position that he came, Pat Riley did yeoman-like work, amazing work. And we talk about it all the time. Death taxes don't doubt Pat Riley. These are the facts. Just facts, ma'am, sir, whoever. You know what I'm saying? So unbelievable job by Pat Riley to get back Andrew Wiggins in that Jimmy Butler trade. Jimmy Z. Butler, when everybody knew that he had to deal him. When everybody knew that he had to deal him. That's the worst position to come from when you're trading anybody at anything. From a position of weakness in a negotiation, right? But that's what a trade is. But Riley unbelievably gets the job done. Wiggins really gelling with this team. We need another hero. The way Tyler played tonight, he won the 3-point competition at All-Star Weekend, and everybody ripped All-Star Weekend, talked about how bad it was and all these things. But, man, did Tyler Hero really enjoy himself at All-Star Weekend. And that, to me, something like winning the 3-point contest, you know what? That can really propel you as a player. Tyler's on his way. I don't think Tyler's going to be a superstar, but, man, the shots he was hitting tonight down the stretch, he gave me a lot more confidence than I've had in a while. And, look, this team right now with Tyler Hero, with Bam Adebayo, with Andrew Wiggins as your 3, the development of Nikola Jovic, you know what I'm saying? This is a nice nucleus with Dunkmeister coming off the bench and playing like he did tonight with 14 points, hitting the threes, even threw one down. Yeah, the Dunkmeister. I don't call him the Dunkmeister for nothing. It's not because he eats. I'm not going to even say it. Let Ben Affleck do it, if you know what I'm saying. But, man, oh, man, what an awesome team win for your Miami Heat. This is Heat Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day, Jim Grieshaber. Call me Grease, and tonight's episode of your Heat Postcast is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, hey, it's your tomorrow. FanDuel customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 make you holla bet wins. One more time, tonight's episode brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, FanDuel customers get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. All right, FanDuel on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Go crazy, Miami, 120-111. Look, pitchers and catchers, man. Marlins get a chance to erase the stain coming up here soon, but There's some big things happening with the Miami Hurricanes in the portal. The Dolphins making moves, a lot of talk about them this offseason, and the Heat with this run. What are they going to do with the new players? How is this going to unfold as the season moves on? Look, Eric Spoelstra won his 886th game tonight as the coach of the Miami Heat, tying the legendary Arnold Red Auerbach for number 3 on the NBA all-time list. Coaches wins with one team, with one franchise, and this is Spo. Could have been a lot more for Spo if he would have started a little bit earlier, but he did start as a young coach, right? But 121-111 tonight was the final. Bam Adebayo, 6 points in overtime. Great job by Bam. Bam, bam, taking control of the game in the extra session. Looked like the break did him good. I think a break will do you good. Bam Adebayo with that. But really, I think that where the game was won, how the West was won. We're going to get to it. And we're going to have the stars of the game. We're going to have multiple stars of the game tonight, and we are going to have the box score. We're going to give you the team stats and all that. Miami with a 6-2 start of the game, 12-4. You know what I mean? They had 14 fast break points in the first quarter off 7 Toronto turnovers, 11 points off the turnovers, but 14 fast break points for Miami in the first quarter. Got off to a great start. Won the first quarter 30-19. At halftime, they were up double digits, maintained it through there. Toronto chip. RJ Barrett, the Heat killer himself, with 29 tonight, burying shot after shot on Miami. And look, the defensive identity of the Miami Heat is coming to fruition. I really enjoy the way that they play defense as a squad, as a team. I got a squad with a list of complainers. I should have started. Anyway, so Tyler Hero scores 10 of his 28 points in the fourth quarter and overtime. Tyler hitting big shots in the fourth quarter for it to even get to the OT. Andrew Wiggins, we're on our way to Wiggle Bay, or Biscayne Bay, as you might have it. 25 points from Miami. 4-game skid is over. Bam Adebayo, 19 points, 12 rebounds. How about Bam? 221 times he has done what? Anyone? Bueller? Anyone? 221 times. What has Bam done? Double-double. What does that mean? He ties the all-time franchise record with Ronnie Cycli, the first ever Heat draft pick. Ronnie Cycli, still number 1 on the double-double list. Bam just tied him until the next one, until the next time. Bam has 4 double-doubles this year against Toronto, but the Heat had been really struggling against the Raptors. What a great name. I love the name Raptors for a team. By the way, Davion Mitchell with a Heat high 16 points, one of the best on-ball defenders in the league. He got the start. So Mitchell with 16 points, Wiggins with 25. These are the guys you got back at the trade deadline. Would you rather have these two than Jimmy Butler? Only time will tell. You know what I'm saying? But in the meanwhile, you do your thing, I do mine. And that's the deal. First time since February 5th in Philadelphia, in the streets of Philadelphia, that the Miami Heat won. And the fourth and final meeting of the season between the teams. Look, RJ Barrett, 29 points for the Raptors. He killed the Heat this year. They're not sad to see him go. That's for sure. Emmanuel Quickly, 23. Scotty Barnes with 13, a little bit lower than his season average against Miami. Grady Dick, a career-high 10 rebounds for the Raptors, who lost for the 6th time in 7 games as Dick really rose to the occasion. 10 rebounds, a career high for Grady Dick, the former Kansas Jayhawk. Barnes and Adebayo each missed shots that could have won the game for their respective teams at the end of regulation. But man, oh man, Miami, first time they went on the road in OT, 4 tries this season. Scotty Barnes hurt himself pretty bad in this game too, got taken off the court. So a 14-point deficit in the first half for Toronto. They erased it in the second half. A tough gut check for Miami, a win for them. Spo's got a ways to go. I mentioned 886 wins for him. 3rd on the list of wins by a coach with one franchise, right? Well, he's got 886 and he's in 3rd place. He's gonna be a while in the waiting room, if you know what I'm saying, like an ER trip during COVID, as he has Jerry Sloan at 1223 and Greg Popovich at 1582. Shout out to Pop, get better. Coach Pop, what a legend and a Don of the game. Idol in my eyes, Don of the game. I don't know the words. Rockefeller fame. Anyway, I'm going to tell you right now, we got a lot more coming your way on your Heat Postcast right here. The Miami Heat get within 2 games of the 500 mark. The Miami Heat dispatch of the Toronto Raptors on the road in OT. They had a double-digit lead in the first half as well. 120-111 the final. They snapped the 4-game L streak that began after their win February 5th in Philadelphia. And now, your Miami Heat poised to make a run. Are they? Are they not? We will look at the stats from tonight's game in the box score, the individual stats. We'll look at the team stats. We'll give the stars of the game, the turning point, and the final score graphic. And we will tell you as we look at the Milwaukee Bucks game coming up too. They have a new look team as well. That's coming up Sunday. We will tell you. I will tell you what I feel the Miami Heat's chances are the rest of the way. Where will they end up? Where are they now in the standings? Where will they end up? All that, a bag of chips, and more. Heat Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network. Jim Grieshaber, call me Gries, Gries, at Jim Gries _ on social media. Give me a follow, make you holla as we continue on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. Boom, 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 boom. And I get the chance to tell you about another one of my favorite companies, because you know what we do here on the Locked On Podcast Network? We're constantly giving you the hookup. Holla if you hear me. You know what I'm saying? We have the biggest and best companies in the world, and those companies, as a part of their deal with us, with the strength and numbers that we have, I don't know if you saw it, but we broke a record last week, 9.9 million viewers and listeners in a day last week when we had the Luka trade. I think it was 2 weeks ago. The Luka trade, yeah, and the NFL stuff as well. So these great sponsors that we have to be a part of what we do, they have to give you great deals, and that's what they are doing. FanDuel right there leading the way. When the game tips off, the NBA action is just getting started, and there's no better place to get in on it than FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. With FanDuel, you can place live bets throughout the game, so even if you missed the opening tip-off or you want to bet on a fourth quarter comeback, you can stay in on the action. And if you're looking for a bigger payout, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay. It's dope, right? I love using FanDuel's live betting feature because it keeps every moment of the game exciting. Whether I'm backing my team for a late-game rally or picking a player to hit a clutch three, I never feel like I missed my chance. Plus, the app's easy to use, and when you win, you get paid instantly, right away, baby, right away. So, right now, new FanDuel customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. That's FanDuel.com for your shot at $150 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. There we have it right there. 120 to 111, your final, the Miami Heat. And look, here's how it happened, right? And there's plenty to it, a lot more than that. But 30-19 first quarter for Miami, coming off the break, coming off the 8-day layoff. You know, players go on vacay. You never know what they're doing. I know the Miami Heat players, they're locked in, right? They know you got new players. Bam's a great captain, great leader. They have the petulance of Jimmy Butler long gone in the rearview mirror. You got a great team player back in Wiggins. I was talking to my friend Lee Sterling. Shout out to Lee. He's also a host on the Locked On Podcast Network. But Lee Sterling of Paramount Sports, and I was talking to him, and he's a big Miami Heat fan, season ticket holder for years and years and years. And I said, Lee, man, I think they won that deal. I love Wiggins. I love him. I think he's better than Butler right now. With the health considered and everything else, Wiggins does so many things really well. Better three-point shooter. Arguably a better defender. The only things that Jimmy Butler really had over him, and to me, they're huge. Jimmy has the intangibles. He has that G'd up mentality in the fourth quarter. He's like 50 Cent coming at everybody, you know, come get some, you know what I mean? And you love that about Jimmy B, and it is what it is. But I love that they got Wiggins back. Mitchell with a Heat high tonight, 16 points. Wiggins, 25. Bam ties Psych Lee with his 221st career double-double. Bam tonight with 19 points, and Tyler Hero with 28 coming off that three-point win at All-Star Weekend. And so dopeness all around for the Heat. They were up 11 at the end of one. They were up by 9 at halftime. And then, you know, Toronto outscored them by 5 in the third and 4 in the fourth. If it wasn't for all the clutch shots that Tyler was hitting in the fourth quarter, and then Bam took over in overtime. But Tyler's shooting in the fourth quarter kept Miami from disaster. They've had meltdown after meltdown. Talking about the 4-game losing streak for Miami and talking about the way that these things have happened, right? It just hasn't been a good run for Miami. Losing that game at Chicago, and that was before the Philadelphia win. So really 5 out of 6 in the the Bulls Heat game was terrible. They're crushing Chicago on the road, end up losing by 9 because they couldn't do it in the fourth quarter. Same thing at Brooklyn. They get trounced by 16 by the Nets, who are terrible. Smoked by the Celtics at home. And then on the road at OKC, they were winning big and then lost by 14, fell apart late. So tonight, for Tyler to be able to keep them in the game with this shooting and not allow Toronto to pull this one out after that big deficit in the first half, not allowing the Raptors, and every time they'd start to pull away, bang, there's Tyler again, hitting a big shot, and I think that's a huge, huge key for him. And then you get to the OT, and what does he do? Miami takes the lead. Toronto couldn't hit anything in the OT. They were one of their first 7. The Heat were 4 of their first 6, and that was the ball game right there. Bam with 6 quick points in OT, but it's 111-109 Miami. There's about 2:50 left in the game. Tyler decides to drive into the paint. Rather than go all the way in, they cave back toward the rim. Tyler, they won't concede the 3, but they will give him the mid-ranger. So what he does, and you're picking your poison, right? So Tyler drives toward the lane on the right side, stops on a dime, pulls back, hits a beautiful fadeaway floater, and that's it. Bang, gets fouled, and Tyler flexing on the Raptors there, and just a beautiful job by Tyler Hero to make it 113-109, drew the foul, made it 114-109. Then Bam came back and scored after that, and that was pretty much all she wrote, because right then Wiggins with an incredible defensive play on a shot clock violation, and I'll show you a picture of that in a moment. So a great job by the Heat all the way across the board. They're playing defense. They were able to stem the tides. And look, the Raptors are no world beaters by any stretch, and you're going to have a lot of time for Miami. You're going to have some games where they fall apart. You're going to have some games maybe where they get smoked. Where will this team fit? Where will they end up in the pecking order? We're going to look at the standings. In fact, maybe we should look at the standings now. Real quick as we continue, we're going to give you the team stats in a minute, and we're going to take a look at the box score. But I want to pull up the NBA, and I love the NBA app, man. Shout out to the NBA app. It's dope AF. And I literally, I'm all over this thing all the time. And you not only you watch the games, you stream them, but they have highlights, insights, box scores, everything else, So basically, a 16-point surge for Miami, 4 points for Toronto late in regulation into the overtime. RJ Barrett, 65% shooting, 29 points, Heat killer he's been, but Tyler Hero shooting almost 60% and 28 points for Tyler. So a 12-2 run from the end of the fourth into overtime, and there you have it for your Miami Heat, and really overall, I mean, Toronto and Miami were almost even in a lot of the statistical categories. Let's go ahead and take a peek at the box score, and we're going to look at the standings in a moment too as well. First for the Raptors, the home squad, RJ Barrett, 29 points on 65% shooting. Quickly, 23. Emmanuel for them, 23 points for Emmanuel Quickly. Then your Miami Heat, and this is where it's getting fun for Miami. And Jovic didn't even score tonight, so that'll tell you there. But let's start with your starters. Tyler Hero, 28 points, 10 of 18 shooting, 4 of 9 from 3, had 7 assists for good measures. And Andrew Wiggins, 25 points, 8 rebounds, his best game as a Heater, 2 of 6 from 3, or he might have had a 30-point game for Miami. 19 points, 12 rebounds for Bam Adebayo, his 221st career double-double with the Heat, tying Ronnie Cycli for the franchise all-time lead. He does it again. He stands alone, the Capitan, atop the list. 16 points for Davion Mitchell on 6 of 9 shooting, 3 of 5 from beyond the arc. Great job by him. Kel'el Ware, 4 points, 6 rebounds, couple of blocks tonight. Duncan Robinson leading the bench scoring, 2 of 6 from 3, 5 of 9 overall, had a dunk, two-handed, threw it down, 14 points for Duncan, 7 for Jovic on 3 of 7 shooting. He's a budding star. I mean, all those years on the national team and what have you, Serbia. And then you have 5 points for Terry Rozier on 2 of 4 in 16 minutes. Maybe Terry's minutes are going to go way down as Mitchell asserts himself a little bit more. Anderson with 2 points. Burks with none in 6 minutes off the bench. Kevin Love didn't play for personal reasons. Haywood Highsmith didn't play because they have a lot better players now. Jaquez Jr. didn't play either. Coach's decision, and Pelle Larson sat on the bench. Also, meanwhile, the team stats, as we take a peek here, tell you anything that really stood out to me. 51% shooting for Miami, 41% for Toronto. From 3, it was 36% for the Heat, but 39 for Toronto. 4 more made threes for the Raptors, even though they lost by 9 points. From the free throw line, Miami 15 of 18, Toronto 18 of 23. The Heat 83% from the stripe. That's really, really good. Obviously, the Raptors had 5 more assists and 2 more rebounds than Miami. The steals were even. The blocks 1 more for the Heat. Turnovers 14 apiece. Fast break points 16-14 Miami. Points in the paint 54-36. The Heat hardly ever win that stat, but they smoked it tonight. And their largest lead was 14, while Toronto's largest lead was 3. Miami was favored by 3.5 points heading into the game tonight. And real quick, one more thing. Want to take a peek at the conference standings right now. Hey, it's your tomorrow. We're at a break. We're up on a break, so I'm going to hit that real quick, come back with the stars of the game, the turning point, the final score graphic, get you ready for the Bucks game as well. But real quick before we hit it, you know what? I'll start the next segment with the standings. We will do that. It's your Heat Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network. Jim Grieshaber, call me Gries, Gries, at Jim Gries _ on social media. You know the deal. Your team every day. 121-11. The Heat win at Toronto in overtime. And we leave a little hole for the podcast to fill in a couple of spots from some of our great sponsors and partners with great, tremendous offers for you as well. So a great job by the Heat tonight, and I have some quick downloading to do, and you know how it is with StreamYard and some when I upload them. But for right now, I'm going to download my and these are dope. And the Heat had a lot of great efforts tonight from star players. And you see teams around the league that have superstar players. Don't always think you have to have superstars. Look, I never thought Jimmy Butler is a mega superstar. Have you ever thought of Jimmy Butler as a first-team All-NBA type of dude? Yeah, in 2020 and 2023 in the playoffs, he was definitely first-team All-Playoffs, right? There is absolutely zero doubt about that. You can't take that away from Jimmy, and why would you want to? Just like I wouldn't want to take away, the greatness of Jimmy's Heat tenure. I mean, it was. But would you ever consider Jimmy Butler to be a first-team All-NBA type of player? Wiggins isn't either, but he's been an all-star, right? So overall, you worry about that with stars. You see teams like the Phoenix Suns under 500 with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. They're 2 of the 5 guys on the floor when the world is on the line. You know what I'm saying? The world's on the line. They're 2 of the 5. LeBron and AD were also 2 of the 5, and now they're broken up. Lakers deciding to trade Anthony Davis. But my point is you have 2 of the 5 players ultimately who are the best players in the world, right? A gold medal winning team in that moment. 2 of the key contributors were Booker and Durant. They're both on the Suns, and they're under 500, man. The Milwaukee Bucks trade away Chris Middleton, a champion, an elite pillar of that franchise. They trade him away, right? And so here you go. Here you go. You bring in Kyle Kuzma. You're playing the Bucks coming up next for Miami. But my point is everything is tenuous in the association. And with the Heat bringing back Wiggins, having Hero, having Bam, having Wiggins as your big 3 with an emerging Jovic and, Rozier, who's wishy-washy this year, and then Davion Mitchell, who knows what he's going to give you. Duncan Robinson leading the bench scoring, could be an elite scorer off the bench if he gets his shooting back to where it should be. But look at this team right now, and we talked about this. We are going to get your, let's see. All right, those are all downloaded. We're going to get to our stars of the game and our turning point and our final score graphic in just a minute. But I really want to make sure that when we're talking about this Miami Heat team and this win tonight, the way they're coming at you on defense, the way they can score in so many different ways, they have elite passers on this team. They have a little bit of everything. But where will they end up in the pecking order? That's the question, right? It's not to be or not to be. It's where will the Miami Heat finish in the Eastern Conference playoff race? And right now, hey, you know what? It's your tomorrow. That is true. It is damn true, Kurt Angle. You know what I'm saying? But the Miami Heat with a 6-2 start, a 12-4 start to the game tonight as well. They scored 14 fast break points in the first quarter, forcing 7 Toronto turnovers. Great start with this team, right? With Wiggins having his best night, 29 or 25 points. Tyler with 28. So you really are feeling pretty good about this team right now. You have to be. You absolutely have to be. But real quick, I'm going to hit the standings. I just looked at the time on my phone. Hey, help. But all right, so Cleveland still at the top, 46-10. Boston 40-16, 6 games back. The Celtics not really gaining a lot of ground there, right? The Knicks are 9 out, so 3 behind Boston. And that's where it gets a little crazy. And there had been a little separation with the Heat's recent losing streak, taking some L's. But you got the Pacers, who right now, I mean, look, nobody seems to really want to take control of this thing here. The Pacers have won 7 of their last 10, as have the Knicks. Boston 8-2, but Cleveland's 9-1. So nobody's gaining any ground. Detroit 7-3 in their last 10. They're gaining ground, while the other teams have been fading. The Heat and Orlando each 4-6. So Miami right now is in 8th place at not where they want to be, 26-28. They're right now 19 games back of Cleveland, tied with Orlando, but Orlando's 2 games ahead in the win column. Miami 2 games ahead in the loss column. You know what I mean? So 2 fewer losses. But Miami, obviously, the win column matters a little bit more. Atlanta's right there, 20 games back. Detroit's 16 back, 3 games ahead of Orlando and Miami. But the Pistons have won 7 of their last 10. Milwaukee, 31-24. They've been playing a little better since they got Kuzma. And I don't know, it'll be interesting to see. But the Heat play Milwaukee. That's their next game on Sunday, and we'll be live right here with your postcast as soon as that game is done. So pumped about that as well. But look, right now they're in 8th place, right? You're in the play-in, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's the play-in, right? So Detroit's the last team not in the play-in right now at number 6 with a 30-26 record. So you're 4 games behind them right now. You're 3 games behind them, 4 in the win column and 2 in the loss column. And, you feel confident that Detroit's not going to be there. But Indiana kind of has your number, Milwaukee. So maybe you're in that 5-6 range, maybe 6 with this team. Are you better than Giannis and Kuzma and Bobby Portis and all those guys in Milwaukee? Are you better than Halliburton and the gang at Indiana, Brunson and all those, Knicks? I don't know. With Cat and company, Cat's kind of come back to the pack a little bit. Karl Anthony Towns. Boston is Boston. They have elite 3-point shooting and defense, and then Cleveland's been killing it all year long with that team play. Will Philadelphia ever put it together? Can Chicago do anything? Atlanta with Trae Young, the Heat play them after the Bucks coming up. Then when they play the Bucks on Sunday, on Monday they play the Hawks, and so we'll see then too. You got a lot of things coming up and a lot of things to look forward to with this team, and I have a lot of graphics to try to upload here on StreamYard, and it gets a little touchy while I'm on live because it's one of those things where if it goes a little bit too slow or has any trouble at all, it kills the upload like instantly. It's like the upload is taking too long, and it's like, no, it's not. Take your time. Take too long. Take forever. I was with a guy this weekend. I love my dude Billy. Shout out Billy Womack. And I was talking to him, and I said, hey man, you know something? I said, Billy, he came up with something, and I'm trying to upload this as we're sitting here, but Billy came up with something the other day we were eating, and he goes, I'm tired of people saying say less. I want people who say more. So say more. My kind of guy, but please let's upload for me. Come on, help me, baby. Come on, help me, StreamYard. Yeah, upload my graphic. Boom, 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 boom. Upload my graphic, please load. You know what? I'm just going to do it. You're going to see. I don't even care at this point. I'm going to do it from my phone, and you going to see. All right, here we go. We're going to enter the studio. Exit light, and here we go. We are going to put this right up there. 120-111 at the Toronto Raptors. Look at the defense from Wiggins, forcing a shot clock violation late in a possession. And that was awesome as well. So a great job. Why is this coming out of my telefono? There we go. Okay, so a great job by the Miami Heat tonight and an awesome job by Wiggins. I was really impressed by Andrew Wiggins and what he was able to do in this ball game. You know what I'm saying? And I really appreciate his effort, his defensive intensity. Everything about this dude is just money. And I really appreciate Andrew Wiggins. There's so much about him to appreciate. There really is. And here we go. Let's see if we can get one of these to upload here. Come on, baby. Yeah, come on. One on time for your mind. All right, we're going to do this. I promise we're going to get this done. It's not really wanting to help me. This is one of the frustrating things. I'm sitting here 100 times trying to upload these graphics that are such a vital part of the show, and StreamYard's just not having it in my phone or on my computer. And finally, it's going to upload one for me. So we're getting to them. There you go. Thank you, StreamYard. Love you. Love you, StreamYard. This is all a delicate operation. We're going to show nothing but love. We got nothing but love for you, baby. Got nothing but love for you, honey. Whatever. Nothing but love for you, baby. All right, so we got a couple more here. And un momento, por favor. We're going to hit you with a couple more things for you. And this is going really well now. So this is like a little delicate love. And the thing just happens to kind of pop off for you. And I really appreciate that. You know, as you get older, you get a little more patient with the way the world works. But again, 120 to 111. Look at Wiggins on the defense. And again, they win for the first time in overtime on the road this year. First time in 4 tries, and that was great. You know, that really was great. And it was a team effort. It was offense. It was defense. It was everything. And really, when you're talking about spreading the ball around, great passing, teamwork on defense, switching, you can start to see the players gelling and coming together, just like you can the show, because all of them got uploaded in the graphics. All right, here you go. How about the moment, the turning point of the game? Here we go. Tyler Hero with a 12-foot runner and 1 3-point play to make it 114-109 with 2:45 left. The dagger from Tyler Hero. That was really, really a big shot from Tyler. And how about one of the newer Heat players and the job that he did tonight? Shout out to Davion Mitchell with the Heat high 16 points. But Wiggy, 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 can't you see? Sometimes your play just hypnotized me. Andrew Wiggins, 25 points tonight for the Miami Heat. His best game in Miami. Mitchell with 16, his best game as well. Wiggins playing really well tonight. And had he hit a couple more threes, I mean, look, he was like 2 of 6. Had he hit a couple more, you might have been looking at a 30-point game for Wiggy, wiggy, wiggy. Can't you see? All right, so there you go. And our third star of the game, the biggest star of the game, the best 3-point shooter at All-Star Weekend, the champion of the NBA's 3-point shooting contest, Tyler. Yes, we need another hero. 28 points for Tyler Hero tonight. And the Miami Heat cruise to victory. Johnny Drama. Victory. And finally, I think I did them all, didn't I? One more time with the final. Bang, 120 to 111. We're going to be back Sunday right after your Miami Heat play the Milwaukee Bucks. Let's see what time that tip-off is on Sunday. It will be an everlasting love. It will be Sunday at 6 p.m. the tip. So we'll be here about 8:30 in that range. And then Monday, come Monday, it'll be all right. The Heat will be in Atlanta playing the Hawks. First of a back-to-back against the Hawks on Monday and Wednesday in the ATL, and then the MIA, and then those dreaded, stinking, rotten, lousy Indiana Pacers come to town on Friday the 28th to wrap up February. There you have it. That's your Heat Postcast for today, your Thursday night, as your Miami Heat smoke the Toronto Raptors off the floor in OT. Tyler Hero, 28 points. Bam Adebayo, 19 and 12. Andrew Wiggins, 25. Davion Mitchell, 16. Duncan Robinson, 14. A team win for your Miami Heat. They play the Bucks on Sunday. We'll be here after the game. Until then, keep your game tight and your mind right. Miami, 120 to 111. The Heat win. Jim Grieshaber. Call me Gries, G-R-I-E-S, at Jim Gries _ on social media. Give me a follow. Make you holler. Until then, keep your game tight and your mind right, Miami. Buenos noches. Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.